anyone who played Tekken 3 in the late 1990s, Paul Phoenix seemed like the most dangerous man alive. A brawler so powerful that he walked into a tournament, fought his way through every opponent, and defeated a god. Not a strong fighter, not a champion, an actual deity of fighting. Yet, somehow, Paul Phoenix got absolutely nothing for it. Nada. No recognition, no glory, no legacy. Just a closing dojo, a mountain of debt, and a best friend who keeps dragging him into money-making schemes that actually never work. Hidden behind that legendary mullet and that eternal confidence is one of the most heartbreaking falls from grace in a fighting game history. This is the story of Paul Phoenix. For anyone who needs to understand just how seriously Paul Phoenix was taken at the beginning, go back to 1994. It's Tekken 1. Only 8 original characters. The foundation of one of the greatest fighting game franchises ever created. And among those 8 characters was a hot-headed American brawler who immediately stood out. Paul Phoenix, an undefeated fighter, a man who had never tasted defeat in his entire career. Until he met a certain Mishima, Mr. Kazuya Mishima. Their battle became stuff of legend. 2 fighters so evenly matched that after hours of combat, neither could actually claim victory. It was a draw. For Paul Phoenix, a man who actually defeated everyone placed in front of him, that didn't feel like a draw. That must have felt like a loss. That single draw burnt like a real defeat. And then after that, Kazuya Mishima actually became his obsession, his rival. I don't know if Kazuya felt the same. And so when the King of Iron Fist tournament was announced, Paul saw his opportunity, his chance to settle it once and for all. This was the Paul Phoenix in 1994, a serious fighter with a serious rival and a burning desire to be the best in the world. He had a boxer's mentality. Just remember this version of Paul, because what comes later will break your heart. Now, for anyone who followed Paul into Tekken 3, what he accomplished in that tournament should have actually made him a legend. The year's 1997, the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3. Paul entered that tournament older, more experienced. The voice has gone a little bit more deeper when he does the Phoenix Smasher. He seems like he's more determined than ever. He fought his way through every battle. He defeated Kuma, the massive bear who had been his rival since the very first tournament. And then he reached the final boss, Ogre, the god of fighting, an ancient supernatural being of unimaginable power. Paul Phoenix defeated a god in the storyline. He left the tournament site immediately after, proud, victorious, ready to actually tell the world what he accomplished, right? But here's where Paul Phoenix takes a turn that haunts everything that comes after. While Paul was already celebrating his victory, Ogre transformed, a second form called True Ogre, more powerful than anything Paul has faced, and Jin Kazama finished what Paul started. Jin got the credit. Jin got the recognition. Jin became the face of Tekken. And Paul, he went home having genuinely defeated a god. You know, there's no shame in that. But he didn't have anything to show for it. Nobody believed him. His dojo lost students. His opportunities dried up. The man who should have been celebrated as Tekken's greatest unsung hero became a figure of ridicule. That single moment, leaving the tournament one fight too early, actually defined everything that came after. This is very important here, guys. And Paul Phoenix has been paying for it ever since. Now Tekken 4 has come. This was Paul Phoenix's last chance at redemption. And for one brief moment, it looked like he might actually get it. So what's crazy, Kazuya has returned. Paul's original rival from Tekken 1. The man he fought till the death for a draw. Paul entered Tekken 4 with a genuine purpose, a real reason to fight beyond proving himself, a genuine rivalry that went back to the very beginning of Tekken, 1994, and his Tekken 4 story carried real weight. He was broke, he was desperate, his dojo closed, reputation was in tatters, but still fighting, still believing. That's Paul Phoenix of Tekken 4. A man that hit rock bottom, who refused to quit He knew what he was actually capable of. That's not a joke of a character. That's a warrior. And what hurts the most out of all of this is the last time Namco treat Paul Phoenix that way. Paul Phoenix in Tekken 4, one, he hit like a truck. His Just Frame Demolition Man looked so beautiful. He played amazing. He looked clean. In my opinion, I think this was the best version of Paul. For anyone trying to understand exactly when Paul Phoenix stopped being taken seriously, the answer isn't straightforward. Kind of complicated. And it kind of actually started in Tekken 3 when the time skip aged Paul from a young, dangerous fighter into a middle-aged man whose rival was suddenly a bear. Gotta think about that for a minute. Paul Phoenix, the man who fought Kazuya Mishima for a draw. Just a draw. The man who defeated Ogre. Like, you would think that's something Heihachi would do. His rival actually became a bear. Not Kazuya, not Heihachi, not Jin. A bear. Like, let that sink in. And somewhere in Namco making that decision, the tone around Paul Phoenix shifted permanently. His endings became more comedic, his storylines became more about money problems and failed schemes with martial law. Tekken 5 saw his ending depict him training to fight aliens. Aliens? What's going on? Guys, we have to remember this is the same guy that they presented Kazuya Mishima as the most dangerous rival is now fighting E.T. Aliens. Predator. Namco made this choice. Whether it was consciously or gradually, someone in the team said, hey, you know what? Paul's taking a backward step. Now that Paul Phoenix became more comic relief than threatening. And once that decision was made, it actually stuck. That's the problem. Now guys, for anyone who actually followed Paul Phoenix from like Tekken 5 to 7, his story has actually become comedy. And it's not funny comedy. I don't personally watch his endings and I'm laughing my head off. No. Him and Law are actually broke. They made him like Harold and Kumar. And I don't understand why. Like, always chasing the next scheme. Always entering tournaments, not to prove like they're the best, but just to pay off bailiffs, just to pay off debt, to fund businesses that never work. Like in Tekken 7, after waiting years for a rematch with Kazuya, Paul finally got his match against Panda? Heihachi's giant panda? Not Kazuya? Panda? Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on there. And that look on Paul's face in the moment captures everything. A man who deserved to be fighting the most powerful villain in Tekken history handed a match against a giant bear's girlfriend instead. Lingsha used Panda. And actually through all of this, Paul Phoenix never stopped believing in himself. That eternal confidence. And deep down, honestly, there's something beautiful about that. A man who defeated Ogre, didn't get no recognition for it, lost it all, and still shows up, still fights, still believes. For me, that doesn't seem like comedy. That's actually kind of inspiring. Now, my final take on this is for anyone who watched Paul Phoenix's journey from the start, the question eventually becomes unavoidable, to be fair. Does this man deserve better? And the answer is yes, yes, yes. When you see how amazing he was in Tekken 4, when he had that just frame, when you actually needed skill to use Paul, and that was backed up with a solid storyline, you couldn't help but rate Paul. Paul Phoenix was there at the beginning of Tekken. This is a true legacy character. One of the 8 original characters that built this franchise to what it is today. In my opinion, he looks awful in Tekken 8. The style, like, I don't know what they were trying to do. My favourite version of him is the Tekken 4 version. You know, his hair slanted down a bit like Kurt Cobain. A bit like what Street Fighter 6 are doing with Ken. I really love that look. And I don't know why they've gone away from this look. It looks amazing. So, this kind of character, guys, honestly deserves at least one moment of genuine triumph. Now, Tekken 8 hinted at something deeper for Paul. Joining Jin's side against Kazuya, showing flashes of that original serious energy. Who knows? Maybe there's still time. Maybe, just maybe, Namco Bandai will give Paul Phoenix the ending of his story that he actually deserves. Or maybe he'll end up fighting another bear, who knows. Either way, Paul Phoenix does what he does. The guy's a powerhouse. Paul Phoenix was always there. In the arcades, on the PlayStation, in the living room. with that funny 80s mullet. I don't know how much gel he must have used to get that hairstyle. But we love that confidence. A man who defeated Ogre, lost his dojo, became now the butt of the joke in rest of the Tekkens. The story needs to be actually celebrated. And Paul Phoenix deserves his moment. And this is why I'm giving him his flowers. At Aussie XP, let me know what you guys think on Paul. Does he deserve a serious comeback in Tekken? Or has the comedy become too much that he actually can't shake it off? Anyway, guys, I genuinely hope in Tekken 9, Paul Phoenix goes back to the way he was. Respectable, a powerhouse, a loyal friend to martial law. Not chasing money or schemes or trying to be the best in the universe. Just a grounded fighter who really loved his discipline. And if you truly like this video, guys, click the like button and let me know in the comments what you guys think. Generally helps out the channel. As you know, I've come back after 10 years and I'm just sharing my passion with you guys. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button.